All right, welcome everyone. We're excited to have you here tonight. Thank you. This is our official spring training. We usually like to do a training in the spring and one in the fall. And so we're excited. The sun's been out the last couple of days, so it's perfect time to kick off our spring training tonight. So welcome those of you that are in the room, and welcome to those of you that are watching live via our feed on YouTube tonight. We're excited that you've joined us. My name is Tracy Dixon, and I am an Ambassador Diamond with our company, It Works Global. And I have several leaders here with me tonight that you'll be hearing from, and I know that you're going to gain just some incredible knowledge and tips and encouragement. Every time I go to a training like this, I walk away with something that I didn't have before. So thank you guys for coming. Enjoy your can of energy for attending tonight. I'm excited to, if you haven't tried it before, I'm excited to see what you think. To kick off tonight, I wanted to share with you guys 4 of my biggest tips that I can give any brand new distributor or anybody that's been in the business for a long time. This is what I call the 4 C's, and it truly is what I feel will make or break your business. You know, a lot of people ask me, I've been in the business for over 3 years now. I started in January of 2012, and so I've seen a lot of people come into the business, and I've seen a lot of people leave. I've seen a lot of people have success, and I've seen a lot of people kind of fall away, and I truly believe that these 4 things really will be significant and something that you should write down and remember for your business. So the first C is connection. And so those of you that are here tonight, give yourself an applause. You guys are awesome. Those of you that are watching live, pat yourself on the back. Connection is so key in this business, from trainings just like this to conference calls. You know, our company gives us several opportunities to plug into conference calls. Via, Sunday night we have a call, Monday night we have a call. And then our team does calls off and on, and our upline does calls. She's doing one tonight. And so there are many different ways that you can plug in. From the moment you start as a distributor, one of the top tips that we give people is to do your training. That's one way to get connected as well. And so connection is key because we all need that encouragement. I mean, any leader in here will tell you that encouragement is key. When we plug in together and we connect together, it's like church. You get filled up and you leave and you can go do what you're supposed to do. And so connection is a big one. So if you're having a bad day, naturally you want to pull away. You know, if you've heard a lot of no's, naturally there may be some of you here that didn't really want to come because you've had a rough week. I've been there, but I guarantee you that connection will give you that just enough to get you through that next week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, until the next event that you can plug into. So it's key, connection. Number 2 is consistency. Consistency is very, very important in this business. It's probably, I would venture to say, Rebecca, the most important thing ever in this business is consistency. Once you say, I'm an It Works distributor, do you know that people are watching you guys? People are watching you on social media, which we'll talk about tonight. People are watching you, you're out and about wearing your black, green, and bling wherever you go, and people are watching you. And also, because they're watching you, if you're not telling anybody what you're doing, how are they going to know that they can buy from you, right? And so it's just like opening a store. If you open up a store, you have to go there, you have to turn the lights on, you have to flip the sign over to open so that people will come and shop with you. And you have to do that every day, right? And that's what people that own businesses do. This coffee shop, they open every day, they turn the lights on, put the open sign out, people can come here and buy coffee. If they didn't do that, no one would come here. If they didn't, advertise on Facebook, or if they didn't let people know they were open, nobody would know to come here. Same thing for your business. You are a business. You are your business. And you have to be consistent with that. I've seen so many people say, yes, I want to join the business, and then they open their business for a couple of days, and then they close down for a couple of weeks. And then what happens? People forget that you're doing that, or they think you've already quit, and they move on, or they go find somebody else to sign up with. And so you have to be consistent. You have to be consistent with following up, which is huge, and we'll talk about that later as well. Following up with people, there's fortune in the follow-up. That's all we do in this business, is we talk to people about what we have, we meet new people, and we follow up. That's pretty much it. That's what I've been doing for 3 years. I talk to people, I follow up with people. I talk to more people, I follow up with people. And you know what? Most people don't say yes the first time. Most people say yes after I followed up, after I followed up, and followed up, and followed up. How many of you in here signed up the very first time somebody asked you? No, I didn't. It took me 4 months to say yes to a girl that I was really good friends with, that I'd known for a really long time and trusted. And it took me a long time to tell her yes. So follow-up is key, and being consistent with that is key. Okay, the third C, confidence. Let me ask you guys a question. If I come up to you and I say, we'll just use this water. If I say, I'll talk to you, Laura. If I say, Laura, this water, I think it's good. You want to try it? I mean, would you really want to try that water? No. But if I say, Laura, this water is natural artisan water. Look how awesome it looks. It tastes amazing. Would you like to try it? Of course you would. It's all about your excitement. It's all about the way that you talk to people and the confidence that you have as you're sharing. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. There's not the perfect words that we can give you guys to reach out to people. We'll talk about that tonight. We'll give you guys some ideas. But there's no perfect word that you can say to somebody. It's all about how you say it. It's about the confidence that you have, the excitement that you have. You know, when I first started, I didn't think I could do this business. I really didn't. Ashley told me all the things to say. She told me all the reasons why I should be excited. I knew she was having success. I knew the product worked on her, but I didn't have a story yet. I didn't know what I was doing. I hadn't even used any of the products. So I had to borrow that from her, and I went out and I confidently and excitedly told people about her story and what I was excited about. My friend Ashley, look at what the wraps did for her. Look at what this business is doing for her, and I'm excited because my goal is hoping to be able to pay off some of this credit card debt. And I would just use that, and my excitement and my confidence is how I got going with this business, even though I didn't have a story yet. Okay, the fourth C, and final one, is commitment. You know, you might as well decide right now that you're not going to quit. Because if you already have an out for yourself, you're going to quit one day. I'll know that. If you already think, I guess, I'll do it for a little bit and then you'll see what happens. You're already giving yourself an out. Don't know that. But if you decide from the beginning, you know what, this is going to work. I'm going to make this work for me and my family. This is what I want. Here's my why. And this is my goal. And, you know, when I started, my goal was $1,000 a month. And I achieved that, and then I dreamed a little bit bigger. And I went after that and dreamed a little bit bigger. I took it baby steps, but I was committed. Ryan told me I had 3 months. So he wasn't as committed as I was when we first started. He said, girl, you got 3 months, because I think this is crazy. You're gonna try it, and he did. He thought this was insane. So if you have a spouse or someone that's telling you you're crazy, you're not alone. So when I jumped in, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go all in with this and go after it, and I attacked it. And so after 3 months, Ryan started getting on board too. When I promoted to Double Diamond, he was like, okay, I think this is legit, we can keep going. But being committed from the very beginning is so key. Do you guys know that, well, one of my favorite things truly about this business is that you never know what tomorrow holds. You don't. You never ever know who you're going to talk to tomorrow. And so if you keep that mentality, even if you've had a couple of hard weeks, you know, if you keep the mentality of never know what's going to happen tomorrow, you can't ever quit, right? Because what if you walk into a store and give some stranger a card that becomes your next presidential diamond, like I did with Rebecca, who you guys are about to hear from. What if that happened? You want that to happen, Lindsay? You want to give somebody a Blitz card and they grasp it and they go out and become a presidential? You'd like that, right? That could happen. That happened to me. Does it happen all the time? Does it happen every day? No. But what if it does tomorrow? You never know. I love that about the business. So, connection, consistency, confidence, and commitment. Those 4 things, if you hold fast to those, will help you find success in the business. All right. So I'm going to ask Ms. Rebecca Renfro. She is Presidential Diamond with our company and a dear, dear friend of mine. She's going to come up and share with you guys ways to get started in your business. I know we have a lot of new distributors in the room and watching live, so she's going to come up and share the best things you can do to get started in the business.
Awesome. Okay, those of you who are watching live with us, if you've got people saying that they can't watch the link, they have to click from their computer. So if you've got people that are texting you saying it's not working, you can't do it from a phone or an iPad, you have to do it straight from your computer. So just want to give you a little technical info. Not that we're pros at that. All right, so Tracy talked a lot about knowing her why and why she was starting. And so I'm going to share with you just what I believe, what we have learned over the course of the last 3 years of what we think it takes to get started in this business on the right foot. We have seen a lot of people come into the business and come out and that sort of thing. And so we see some key things that when people do these things, they find success. So the first thing that I really think is super important is knowing why you're doing it. Because it works is like any other business. And it comes from intrinsic. You have to decide for yourself. No, you don't have a boss telling you what to do every day. So you have to decide, I'm going to get up and I'm going to flip the open sign to my business every single day. You're the one that decides that. So you have to know why you're doing it so you find that motivation from inside. Tracy mentioned that her reason for doing it was she wanted to pay off debt. I know she also wanted to be able to give more in her life than she was doing before It Works. And that was a very similar story to me. A lot of people join It Works because they want to help, they want to pay off debt. I know that for us, nobody knew that when we laid our head down at night in my home that there was that heavy chest, that heavy feeling on your chest of burden from so much credit card debt and no idea of how to pay for it. So a lot of people join It Works because It Works teaches us to pay off our debt. And so it's a great company to do that, but if you know why you're doing it, then on those hard days, those days that you feel discouraged, or those days that you're not really sure if you want to turn the open sign on that day or over that day, you'll remember why you're doing it and keep your focus on that. We talk a lot about creating a vision board or writing your why out and putting it right there on your refrigerator. You know, creating that with your family and everybody getting on board as to why you're doing It Works, why you've invested this time and money in this business, what you want to accomplish from it. So knowing your why is super important. The next thing that we tell everybody who starts, and I see a direct correlation in people who are successful and those that do this simple thing, and that's to watch your training videos. When you signed up as a distributor, or if you're thinking about it tonight and you're kind of wanting to know what all this is about, you're going to hear us talk about it. Do your training. It's super simple. The company gives us training videos in our back office. They're short snippets of training, but they are priceless. They will give you that foundation that you need. They'll set the pace. They'll introduce you to the corporate team, to the leaders of our company. It'll just give you a great foundation. I tell people that once you watch the training videos, you're then going to know what you need to ask me. Right now, you don't even know what you don't know. But if you'll watch those training videos, it'll give you a great, great start. So I try to tell people, and I try to do this myself, I even go back and re-watch them over in different times to get a refresher, to see what the company has brought out new. But watching your training and training yourself up and giving yourself that confidence is key. So, and then the next thing, I feel like this is one of the most important things, and it's super simple as well, is to use the product on yourself. You have to have your own story. I suggest everybody wraps themselves consistently. And this is why when I used the wrap, I got very, very excited. I used it for the first time. Tracy had shared it with me. I'd never tried it. I didn't even think it would work. I was very skeptical. But as soon as I put that wrap on my body, 45 minutes later, I saw measurable results and I got really excited. So knowing how the product works on you is going to give you a passion and an excitement. So when you love something, you're going to want to automatically share it with other people. It's super easy. That's what we do. We use the product as distributors and then we share it with other people because we can't help but want to tell them about it because it's so awesome. So using the wrap on yourself, I believe, is a great place to start, and then incorporating other products in as well. The second product that I think everyone should be on and be using is our greens. It's going to keep you healthy. It's going to give you energy. It's going to give you sustainability as you're working your business. But it's also going to make you super excited about offering that to other people as well. So using the product on yourself is very important to your success. People are going to ask you, well, have you tried it? And then you're going to be able to say yes, and your excitement and passion is going to come through in your voice, and you're going to be confident in the product because you know it works because it worked on you. So it kind of goes back to the 4 C's that Tracy was talking about. When you're using the product consistently, you're confident and you're excited about it, and it comes through in your presentation to people, okay? And then we tell everyone when they start is to start making a list of people that you know. You know so many people that you don't even realize you know. When I sat down and started just making a list, we call it our hundreds list. You can look at your back office, the document is just literally lines of paper and it says hundreds list across the top. I used a notebook. You can use whatever works for you. But when you start making a list of everyone that you know personally, that you've ever known in your life, your kindergarten teacher, I actually signed a customer up the other day, and she was my very first principal that I taught for 15 years ago. So she's been following me for the last 3 years. We're Facebook friends, and she just became a customer. So I'm talking people that you have known in all walks of your life will become your customer if you stay consistent and persistent, and people know you're a business. So she was one, for example. She was on my hundreds list, and she just signed up 3 years later. So never give up. So that hundreds list, or this list of people that you know, is just going to be anyone you've ever known. What I suggest that we all do is we use our phone, our contacts in our phone. We go through our Facebook. We go through our email list. We go through anybody. Who did we work for 10 years ago? Who did we go to elementary school with? Where do we go to the dentist? Anywhere there are people that you could make a conversation with, you're going to write their names down, okay? And then with that list, I want you to think about, who would you tell if you won the lottery? Who would you call? I know that we all have people in our life that if we won the lottery, there's about 4 or 5 people we would start knocking down the list and we couldn't wait to tell them. For me, mine was my mom. As soon as I used the wrap, I immediately called her on the phone and told her all about it. What do you think she wanted? When I told her how awesome it was and what it did, she wanted one herself. So she was that person that if I won the lottery, I'd call her. So I want you to think about, as new distributors and as you're helping your new distributors get started, is that the people that they would tell the most exciting news to is the people we want to start with. Because those are the people who are going to encourage us. Those are the people that are going to support us. So just simply ask them, I've simply said, hey mom, I just used this wrap and it did this amazing thing, and I think I'm going to become a distributor. Would you be a customer for me and try it out and be a customer and use the product for 3 months? She was like, yeah, baby, I'll do that. So you're just simply being honest and reaching out to those people that would support you, and those are the ones we start with, and simply ask them to do you a favor and try something out for you, because your first goal as a distributor is to get those 4 loyal customers. So using that hundreds list and doing what I just said, reaching out to those people that you would reach out to for any exciting thing, because I can tell you this, you have the lottery in your hands right now. You know how many people win the lottery? More people get struck by lightning than people who win the lottery. But with It Works, anybody can make it happen if they do the steps that we're talking about. So going forth and getting those first 4 loyal customers is key. And using your hundreds list and starting with the people that you feel most connected to, and just telling them what you have your hands on, being excited and confident, using your upline story like Tracy said, and saying, I don't know what I'm doing, but I am super excited because this chick over here is doing great at it, and if I can even do a tenth of what she's doing, I'm going to be excited because I want to pay off my debt, or I want to take my family on a vacation, or I want to buy a new home, whatever your why is, and be honest and forthright and go for that. So that's where the hundreds list and reaching out to those people right away, okay? The reason your first 4 loyals are so important, I say never miss a target if you can. The company is saying to you in your first 30 days as a distributor, if you go and help 4 people try this awesome product and get started as a loyal customer, we're going to give you $120 in free product. Here's your $120. If they've had $120 kind of laying out there on their hand, would you go work for it so you could get it? So what that does is that allows you to either buy 2 boxes of wraps, get those for free and turn around and wrap 8 new people and sell 8 wraps to people and make $200 cash in your pocket. Or it also allows you to use that $120 to buy products that other products that maybe aren't in your budget yet, so that you can create your own story on other things besides the wrap. So I say never miss that $120 in free product. That's your first goal, and let's go do that, okay? All right, and then how are some ways that you can do that is using that 100th list and reaching out to people. We're gonna talk to you a little bit more about that later. But one thing that I really like to see people do is utilize the party setup, okay? You can have an at-home party, have it at your house, have it at your mom's house, at your aunt's house, at your best friend's house, and just invite a few people over that want to try the wrap and hear more about this great product and ways that you can make money at working from home if you would like. Or we also have online parties that lots of leaders host for you. So as new distributors join you and your team, you can plug those in and people can literally learn about what we have to offer with our products and our business opportunity on an online party. They literally sit behind their computer and watch. So get plugged in, have your own wrap party to get started, to launch yourself, to let people know you're a business, or utilize one of the online parties that leaders have, or you can do both, okay? And then finally, focus on going Ruby. We're gonna talk about that in a little bit, but the company is going, most people join Networks because they wanna make about $500 a month. Do you find that when people sign up and join your team, that $500 is like their idea of, if I could do that working from home in the nooks and cranny of what I already do, I'd be super happy. Well, that was me too. I wanted to just make $500 because that was going to change my life, and it did when I started doing that. So the company has a level called Ruby that allows you to do that. And once you learn, we're going to teach you in a minute what that looks like, but once you learn how to build yourself to Ruby, adding distributors to your team and customers to your organization, then you now know how to build to every level all the way up to ambassador. So the key is learning how to build yourself to Ruby, how to work your business that way. And once you do that, you just start to duplicate your efforts and your business will start to grow, and you can grow all the way to ambassador by knowing how to build to Ruby. Okay, so Ruby is really a key part of everything else that we're set up for. Okay, so those are the ways that I encourage you to get set up and get started as distributors. We'll see if Tracy has anything to add. We like to bounce ideas off of each other. Do you have anything to add to that?
No. No, that was awesome. That's exactly what I tell people to get started. But I would like to talk about building to Ruby really quick, because I agree with you completely that is huge, and we all need to understand that from the very beginning, because like you said, everything is built on rubies. So when you look at a diamond chart, do you guys feel overwhelmed? Do you? So that's normal. When I looked at my first diamond chart, I was like, oh my goodness, there's no way. Did y'all feel like that sometimes? But when you look at the diamond chart and you think, okay, there's one ruby here and a couple of rubies here. So if I find 3 people that could build to Ruby and you break it down like that, then it doesn't feel quite as overwhelming, does it? When you think about, well, if I can find a person that fills all those boxes, and I can find another person that fills all those boxes, and one more to, and these rubies can get a $500 bonus as they're doing this. That's huge. And so Ruby is very important. And then after diamond, you're just adding a few more rubies to go double diamond, and then a few more rubies to go triple diamond. And so that really is the backbone of charting in this whole business. So let's talk about how to build to Ruby. I was gonna bring a chalkboard and draw it out for you guys, but I completely forgot. So we'll just kind of talk through it. To build a Ruby, and you can kind of, if you have anything to say, jump in. To build a Ruby, you need at first to find 3 distributors to join your team. So people ask me all the time, when you first get started, should I look for customers first or distributors? And my answer is always, you look for both consistently all the time. That's what our job is. We give people a choice. You know, here's what we have to offer. Would you like to be a customer or would you like to be a distributor? You're always looking for both. So you want to find the 4, like Rebecca said, to get that 120 in free product, because that is huge and that will never happen again. That's a perk that you get at the beginning. So I definitely recommend you finding those 4. But in the meantime, as you're talking to people, you might come across people that want to earn extra income with you and that want to use the products. Do you guys know that if somebody wants to try the wraps, that for $40 more, if they're thinking about being a distributor, they can be a distributor and try the wraps? It's $99 versus $59. $40 more, they're set up to earn extra income with our company. So with that, to build to Ruby, you want to find 3 distributors to join your team first. Okay? And then if one of those distributors gets 2 distributors, so now we're looking at a total of 5 distributors on your team. You have a Ruby chart filled out. You're not promoted yet, but you have a Ruby chart filled out with names of people. And then when you look at that Ruby chart, you'll see which one of those boxes needs 400 in volume. 400 in group volume. So when you first start, if I go out and I sign up 4 distributors, or 4 loyal customers on a box of wraps, which most people want to try the wraps when you first get started. That's typical. Most people want to do the wraps. So if I go out and I get 4 customers, and they all get wraps, which is 54 BV, approximately how much is that? Does anybody do math quick in their head? Because I don't. That's why I'm like looking at you guys. 260? 216? Okay. So 216, and then say my auto ship runs for 80, right? So we're getting close to 300 already. Do y'all see how 400 is attainable? Do you guys see that? It's not like company's not saying you have to go out and get 1 million customers in order to promote here. They're saying this has to be 400 and that distributor has to be 400 and this distributor has to be 400. In that Ruby chart, you'll see which ones have to be 400, and once that happens, you will promote to Ruby. So in a nutshell, 5 distributors on your team. When people ask me, how do I get to Ruby? From the very beginning, when I'm telling them about the $500 bonus, I'm like, well, your first step is to try to find 3 people. Do you know 3 people that you think would want to earn extra income with you? Don't overwhelm them, just ask them, do you know 3? Let's start there. And then explain to them about the chart, the Ruby chart. You know, people, when they look at this business, a lot of people in network marketing, they look at it and they think, oh my gosh, that's a scam. Because they think it's one extreme or the other. You either make a ton of money or you don't make anything. And I think what's awesome about It Works is that they show you how to do it a step at a time to where it really makes sense. So you want to make $500? Okay, let's focus on that. And then all you have to do to go to the next level is repeat what you just did and teach other people to do the same thing. And I love that because we take it a step at a time. No one comes to me and says, Tracy, I want to join your team. I really want to make $20,000 a month. No one says that because no one believes that that's possible. Do y'all think that's true? I did. I believe that was true. I mean, I didn't think there was no way you can make money in this kind of business. That's really what I thought. I was very skeptical about this whole industry when I started. But what I found was that Ashley showed me these steps to success. And she's like, here's how you build to Ruby. So I did that. And then I started to figure it out. I was like, okay, well, so that means that if I teach that person to build to Ruby, I show Rebecca how to go Ruby, and then I show Liz how to do it, and then before you know it, I'm double diamond, and then I'm like, well, why not stop? I'm going to show some more people how to build to Ruby, and that's where it's all based off of. We're going to teach you how to go get 3. That's where we're starting. I love that because then it breaks it down and it really does work. And then network marketing becomes believable and people do make a lot of money in it. So I love that. Does that make sense? Ruby, how to build to Ruby and why it's important? Rebecca, do you have anything to add? Okay. All right. Now we're going to break up some of our training tonight with just having a few leaders come up and share a little bit. So first off, we would love to have Miss Laura Hooker come up and talk tonight. Rebecca asked her if she would share her story with you guys and share with you also some of her tips on social media. So y'all give it up for Laura Hooker.
So it is a little weird, like having a computer. Like, do I look at the computer or do I look at everybody? Okay. Hey, everybody. Okay, so I don't really do notes, so I'm not even going to try because I'm going to get sidetracked. So we're just going to wing it. Anyway, okay, so I wanted to kind of share my story first, but I'm going to kind of like tie in the social media, what I'm going to talk about with social media into it because my business was social media. How many of you guys signed up because you watched your upline on social media or you, like she messaged you on it? How many people signed up for social media? Okay, well, most of the people that I signed up on my team are from social media, and so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with that. But Beth, I met Beth not on social media. I met her at a gym, and I worked there, and so we didn't really like know each other very well at all. We just, like, her kids were really cute. She always dressed them really cute to come to the gym. Like, she was cute coming to, her kids had like the headbands, and I knew she like made stuff cute, you know, and her kids are always the cute ones. And so I knew her, and then I left the gym and moved away, and we were Facebook friends. And so, like, that's the cool thing about Facebook is that we were an acquaintance, but we didn't really know each other very well. But I watched her. So I saw that she had started with It Works, and she messaged me, and I didn't respond. Like, I hate that Facebook, like, you can read it, and it shows, and karma is so mean, because I get that so much now. And so, anyway, but I know, I'm like, they'll come around. So she messaged me, I think 3 or 4 times over a long time. And, but I was watching her, and that's what I want to talk about tonight too, is you may feel awkward when you're posting about It Works, because like, I'll post something funny my kid gets, and I'll get like 65 likes in 10 minutes, then I post something about It Works, and it's just like, so, y'all understand? Okay. So anyway, but I was watching, and like I know that people still watch me, and so in January of last year, I was working full time. My husband works full time. We had a 2-year-old, and anyway, we were going through Dave Ramsey. And have any of you guys gone through Dave Ramsey? Yes. Yes. I didn't want to go through Dave Ramsey, but my husband's the nerd in the relationship, and I'm the free spirit. And he was all excited, like we walked into the seminar and he had like his notebook, and he was like, here, we're gonna do everything he says, we're gonna do a budget. And I'm like, okay. So anyway, we go through Dave Ramsey, and I think it was like in February, he starts talking about the snowball effect, how to pay off debt. And we had some debt, we didn't have a ton of debt, but we absolutely had no savings. And so, anyway, he was talking about getting a second job. And so like, we're in Canton, and you guys heard of First Monday, all that kind of stuff. So we were talking about all these First Monday jobs we could do, and I'm just thinking to myself, I'm a full-time manager, I have a kid, and I'm a photographer. Like, where am I going to squeeze in practically another job? Like, I couldn't call my mom and be like, hey, can you just watch her 7 days a week? So I knew that I had to find something. Name popped in because I remember just a post she had posted, like probably months back, that I did not like. And about Dave Ramsey's daughter speaking at one of their conventions. And so I was like, her name popped in, and I was like, wait a second, maybe, and I had saw that she had just gone to Italy, and like paid off all this debt, and here I am not going to Italy. And so I was like, okay, maybe I should message her. So I did, and I messaged her, and you know, it was like 2 seconds later, she messaged back kind of thing. So I now understand that feeling. And we set up a time to meet, and I canceled like the morning of. Karma, I'm telling you, it happens to me too now. So I canceled, and I canceled, I think it was like Mary was sick or something, but I really was just scared. I was scared to death. I had done network marketing before, and I was just scared to start something again and fail at it and like put all this money into it. And I think more than anything, I was scared of what my friends were gonna think, which is really retarded because my friends are distributors now. So I'm like, what was that again? But I was scared. So anyway, I waited, I think I looked back the other day, and I waited like 2 weeks before we actually met again. And we met, I made her come to me, like all the way to me. So I only had to drive like 3 minutes, and I did it purposely on a lunch break. So that if I was freaking out, I could just be like, hey, I gotta go to work, like right now, I gotta go. So I was only gonna give her like 30 minutes, and we got there, and like I had the whole pity sweat, so I was just like, what am I doing? And I signed up, so that was real hard. But I don't think at that point, though, that I was still convinced that I could do it. I was not in any way, like, I did it. I mean, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. She drove all that way, like, I needed to sign up. But, and I saw that Beth could do it, and I think the thing that made me, Beth is so duplicatable, and the fact that she lived in Lindale, I watched her work her business. I mean, if she could post on Facebook, I can post on Facebook. And so anyway, but here's what happens when you sign up as a distributor. You freak out the next day. So I totally freaked out the next day, texted her, and so Beth texts me every day, you're gonna be a diamond, you're gonna be a diamond, until I finally believed. And so, but what I had to like realize is, okay, what's my action plan? If I knew when I signed up, like, yes, $500 a month would be great, but if I was gonna do it, I wanted to be able to quit my job. I wanted to be able to stay at home. And so like I had sights on diamond to double. That's kind of like where I wanted to be. So I knew that like I had to do something. I couldn't just sit there and wait for it to come to me. And so, but here was my problem. I worked all the time. I couldn't do parties. I really didn't want to have a launch party, but I did. It was good. But I didn't want to do any of that, and then like right after I signed up, I left my phone on the top of my car. All of my contacts, like every contact, you know, from like the kindergarten people, everybody. I left all the time, and I lost all my contacts. So then like I couldn't even text people. So then like when the challenges would come out, I'd be like, text you, I don't have anybody's numbers. I can't text my grandma constantly. So Facebook for me, like I couldn't do parties. I couldn't, you know, I was busy. I was working all day and doing photo shoots at night. So for me, I had to use social media, and one of the quotes that I really held on to was, do something every day that scares you. And it may sound really silly that posting on Facebook is scary, but I was terrified. Like, I was terrified, what were my friends gonna think? And, you know, like, what if they thought I was crazy? Or what if they didn't want to be my friend anymore? And so that was hard for me, is like posting that first initial post. So I was like really ease my way into it. But I love, like, looking back now, I use the Dave Ramsey, I use my why. So I think it's important if you're a new distributor to start with what your why is, exactly what Rebecca is, and to do your first post with that. So my first post was something like, oh my goodness, I'm so excited. We've been going through Dave Ramsey, and I'm gonna be starting a new job, or whatever word I use, that's gonna allow us to be debt free. That's gonna allow us, for me, it was to get a house down payment and all that kind of stuff. So people have been following my Dave Ramsey journey, and then they saw that I typed that in. And I've seen with my distributors that have had the best success are the ones that whatever their why is, if it's for their kids, if it's for them and their husband, if it's for them to pay off student loans, if you start with that, then to go with it. If you have been a distributor for a while and you never did that, then just relaunch yourself. Like, I still remind people what my why is, because the truth of the matter is that not all your Facebook friends are going to see every post that you post. And so that's why it's important to not just post one time, and then when you don't get any response, be like, oh, well, none of my 600 friends want to try this skinny wrap. So they're just not, like, they do, but they have to see it over and over again. So I posted on social media every day. Every single day. I posted, and you know, like before and afters for me, I was like, oh my goodness, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna post all these tummy pictures, and I did. But I think it's really important to share and not sell. I think we talk about that a lot, but what does that actually mean? And I think the difference is when you post a picture and say, hey, buy from me, here's my website. No one's gonna buy from me. I would never do that. But what I would do, and what I learned a lot from my upline, is I would post pictures and be like, oh my gosh, we just saw these results. They're awesome. You know, check these out. Or something. People are going to start following that, especially if it's people that you know, which is a really cool way to get loyal customers, because you can message people and say, hey, I just started with this business. I'm needing a few people to come to try this product and let me use your before and afters for a testimonial. Then you've got people that you can pull in and say, hey, I know this girl. And look how awesome her results are. So, okay, so I'm gonna need my notes. 1 minute. Anyway, so, okay, so one of the things that I was talking about with that is with social media, you want to still be you, but I think it's important to realize that It Works is now a part of you. And so it's not bad to post about It Works, because it's now a part of you. So, you know, you don't want to just have every status about It Works, but it's okay for people to know that you're an It Works distributor. So, you know, It Works is a big part of my Facebook. If you are not, like, you want to make sure, like, when I sign up a distributor, I say, okay, go change, you know, add a place of work as that you are working at It Works. So this is a simple thing to do. And then you want to announce that you're a DTE, and then you want to start sharing the products. People love this product. That's the thing, is we have a product that people can see results with. Social media is huge with that. And I didn't have a lot of Facebook friends. I think I had around 400 Facebook friends when I got started. And so I was, you know, sign up people who have 1,500 friends, and I'm like, you can do this. So my friends have come a lot more since that, and most of them are It Works distributors or things like that now. But I think it's important. So a couple ways that I share It Works on social media now is that whenever, and I did this in the beginning, I sign up a new team member, I always share that on my personal page. And that's something that I want to be the first one that tags them in it to get that excitement rolling, because 9 times out of 10, that new person, that new team member is scared to make that first post. So I'm going to make that first post for them and like really pump them up with that. So I normally do like a cute little picture collage, and I post them, and I just say something like, I am so excited to welcome this person onto my team. She's got great goals. We're going to work together to get her to whatever her goal is. And then what I'm doing then is I'm tagged in that. I'm on her page, so if people comment or things like that, and if there's ever a negative comment or something, I'm right there to get her back up. I'm right there to pump her up. Because I think one of the reasons that people are so scared to post right away is actually 2 reasons. 1, they're scared of the negative comments, and 2, they're scared of, what if someone asks a question that I don't know how to answer? So you want to be right there as their leader. You want to be there to, whenever someone asks, well, how does the wrap work? And your new distributor goes to like post something this long about why the wraps work, you go, oh, it tightened toes and firms. You should buy one. So, you know, you're there to help them. So you're going to do that post, and then what I do is I feed my new distributors actually what to post for their first, you know, product tester post, their first loyal customer post, whatever it is. I'm going to help them get started with that. So you, with those 4 loyal customers, to me, like, you can get your 4 loyal customers before your launch party off of social media. So if you go into your launch party with that confidence, I think your launch party is going to be amazing. And then at that point, you have 4 loyal customers who can refer people to your launch party. So that's what I always try to do, is be able to get those 4 loyals in right away. And then let's say that, you know, you're not new in the business, and maybe you're like, okay, well, I've posted before, but no one really comments. I just think that, are you going to stop posting about your child or your life if people don't comment? No, you're not. It's because that's who you are. So just keep posting and just keep sharing and let people see how it's changing your life. Even if like you don't really feel like it is at that moment, even if you're really discouraged, stay positive, keep posting. I think a year later, I was supposed to tell my story. So anyway, okay, so almost done. But Anyway, so I built my team completely off of social media. I had one launch party because Beth made me, and I got one distributor out of it, and then I think I got 2 or 3 loyals, and they were all my coworkers of where I worked. So that's the only reason it was successful at all. Like, no one came except for my coworkers, and that's because I saw them every day, and they knew that if they didn't come, it would not be pretty the next day. It's the only reason they came. And then the first, like, when I signed up with Beth, she's like, she sent me home with a wrap to try for my own before and afters. Well, I didn't try it. So I gave it to one of the people I worked with, and she had terrible results. Like, that's how I started my business. She had absolutely terrible results. Well, it turns out she didn't do anything what she was supposed to. It was just a mess. Anyway, so like, she walks into the office the next week, and she's like, just telling everybody in there, like, how bad it was, and it didn't work, and don't waste your money. Well, they're all my loyal customers now, and they've all had amazing results, except for her, but she didn't stay at that job very long. So that negativity got taken care of. But anyway, so, you're gonna get people like that in the beginning. But I did my launch party, and then I started posting, and I started messaging people. Beth told me when I would get overwhelmed with, like, I don't have time today, I'm working all day, she would tell me, do one thing for your business every day. And that's how I work my business today. Every single day, even if I've had a crazy busy day, nothing's gone right, if it's midnight, I'm gonna get in my bed and open up Facebook and message 4 people. Don't go to bed until you've done something for your business. If it's messaging, if it's doing Facebook posts, if it's texting someone, if it's scheduling a party, selling an individual wrap, just make that your habit. Do something for your business every single day. And so for me, that involved Facebook and social media. And so most of the time I went diamond from working on my phone in my lunch break for an hour every day at work. I would get on my computer and I would work for that solid hour, and then I would work at night from like 11 p.m. to midnight every single night, and that's when I message people. And there's a lot of people who are up that late, so that want to buy skinny wraps. So that's how I messaged, that's how I built to Diamond. And most of my team, like all of my team, except for the one who signed up on my launch party, signed up over social media. Some of them were close friends, and some of them were people I haven't seen in 10, 12 years. So you want to build that connection. I do think that's important. But I also don't think that you have to message someone for 2 weeks before you ask them if they want to join your team, because most people need extra income. That's the truth of the matter. And another thing on social media, you also have to realize that while you may not want to be that skinny wrap girl, there's someone out there being that girl for 15 other network marketing companies, and they're not scared to go post. So if you don't want to lose your potentials to those people who are posting anyway, then you've got to go out there and you've got to get them. You've got to ask them. You've got to tell them why they need to join your team, and you have to make it about them. And so in the beginning, you know what? I signed up a lot of DTs on really long, way too long Facebook posts, but it worked. Now they're a lot shorter, and that works too. So verbiage-wise on social media, I mean, I think that verbiage helps, and on all the team pages, there's tons of it. So you can go there, but I think being real and being honest about why you want them on your team, try to find maybe 2 things about them on why they would be really good at this business. Go with it that way. That seemed to help me the most. So I can't really remember anything else. So I think we're good. Do I get to
Okay. All right, I'm Beth Bills, and I'm the same way. You look at the computer, you guys know what to do. I'm Beth Bills, I'm a double diamond. I've been with the company for a little over 2 years, and I'm going to talk to you tonight about online parties. And this is something that, for me, was out of my comfort zone. I enjoyed the in-home party, but could not get them to stick. And so it became kind of a place of frustration for me because I wanted to party. I liked to party. but no one wanted to party with me. Or I would set them up and I just got discouraged. And so probably about a year went by and I wasn't really partying and I wanted to be around people. I wanted to be with the masses. I wanted to talk to people. And so people were doing online parties. This was not something that I came up with. It wasn't new. It wasn't some concept that I could put my name on and claim it, but something clicked with me. I'd gotten on another party that I just happened to, I don't even know how I stumbled upon it, because honestly, I really hadn't had any success prior to me starting to do these, and so I really, even in that area, was pretty discouraged. But I stumbled upon this one, and I decided, you know what, I'm just going to watch it. It was somebody on another team, and I thought, I'm just going to see what they're doing. I'm going to see if maybe something in this party resonates with me, and I can take this and run with it. And it was pretty long. It was about 30 posts. And I did it for a little while, but I found myself the pit sweat. I would be by myself, like pit sweating, trying to get in, but also trying to comment. And so I started talking with Rebecca, and we were brainstorming, and then Tracy had gotten on a party, and we figured out how to condense that down. And now we're nailing it. And I love it. I love it. I'm excited. It's like there's times in your business when you're going to be more excited than others. That's normal. It's that way in my marriage. There are times when I'm more excited than others, but I've had this renewed sense of my business, of just being excited. I get excited I've been doing them once a week, and I get excited to sit down at my computer and be with these people who want to know about our business. They're excited about our products. And I'm sitting on this side of my computer just posting. And I'm watching them get excited. And so what does that do? It gets me excited. And so we've been doing once a week. I don't have to leave my house, which is another beautiful thing, because I was finding with the dynamics of my home, it didn't really work that well for me to be gone for parties anyway. And so I really kind of feel like this is a blessing from the Lord, because I can stay there, put my kids to bed, and then go to my online party. And it still brings just as much excitement and just as much business in. So I'm going to tell you kind of what we've been doing and what's been successful. Because you're probably thinking, maybe the same way I was, I've tried inviting people, but they don't show up. I invite them, they don't show up. Well, I'm going to tell you why. Okay? So what I was doing is I would get on my online parties, not even mine, other people's, and I would just invite everybody in my Facebook, all my friends. And then I would show up to the party, and guess who was there? Me. That's it. I was the only person there, and I could not figure out, I am a cool chick. Why did people not want to come to this online party with me? Well, it's because I had made zero connection with them. They may not have even seen the event come through their little notifications, because that happens to me. I might see it, but then 3 days later, I've forgotten about it. And so what we started doing is actually messaging people and inviting them to these parties. So I'll look and try to find 10 people a week is what I try to do, is message at least 10 people, a private message, and say to them, hey, now let me back up. First, I'm making a connection with people in some way. Maybe at one time they showed interest in the wrap, or maybe they had liked a post that I had made on Instagram, or a picture I put on Instagram. I'm using those opportunities as a blitz. And so I'm going into those people and I'm saying, hey, I noticed that you made a comment on this, or I noticed that you liked this picture. Would you like to come to this event I'm hosting on Thursday night? And I allow them to answer the question. I don't open up my messaging and throw up on them and say, there's this event that's going to be at 8:30, we're going to talk about this, and we're going to do this, do you want to come? Because then they're overwhelmed and they're like, no, I don't know. I don't want to be a part of that. But if I just kind of drip on them slowly, and throughout the week, because right now we're doing them every week, so I'm trying to just kind of throughout the week connect with them, make them feel human, and invite them to my party. So that's the first thing I'm private messaging them. I'm making them feel important, because I don't know about you, but I am more likely to show up to something if I've made a connection with the person that's going to be there. That's just because we're people. We want to feel connected. And so when I started doing that, I started having way more success. The other thing is staying connected, like I was saying. I'm getting ahead of myself. This is what I do. That's what I do. But staying connected, I've found that just asking them one time isn't enough. It's just like Laura was talking about. People have been seeing my posts for 2 years, and there are people that I asked 2 years ago that are just now becoming my loyal customers. But it's because it takes a little while. They have to feel like, are you really just looking at me for the sale, or do you really care about what my goals and my needs are? So if I'm making that connection throughout the week with them, checking back in, hey girl, I can't wait until Thursday for the party. I'm excited you're going to be getting on with me. Do you have any questions now that I can answer even before the party? They may not respond, but you've made another connection with them. You've let them know that you care and that you do want to answer their questions before, so that they even have a little more confidence whenever they hop on the party. So make that connection more than once. The other thing is that I'll ask them if I can either add them to the event before. I don't add them first and then go message them. I message them and then I ask for their permission to add them to that event, because I want to establish respect as well. Because I think that's what happens, is people feel disrespected. I get so frustrated when I get added to groups that I didn't ask to be added to, and it's happening more frequently now, and I'm starting to really use that to learn on my own business. I don't want people to just be added to something. So I ask them if I can add them first, or I'll just share the link with them. Here's the link to my party. If maybe they didn't take the bait the first time, then we'll share the link and say, here's the link, it's super easy, just click on it. I even will go the night of, a few minutes before it starts, and send them a message with the link in it so they can just click on it and it's super easy. So I've taken all of the obstacles out of the way for them and made it super easy so that they can easily hop on. This is my favorite one. You actually show up to the event. It's a novel idea. But if you show up to the event and they see you there, that's another way that they're going to feel connected to you. If you invite somebody and you don't come, they're not going to be your customer. And I can promise you they're not going to want to join your team, because you haven't invested in them. When they feel invested into and feel like a person and feel like their goals truly matter to you, then they are going to want to be a part of what you're doing. So show up to the event and be active. That's another thing. Just because you're there, you still have to be active. Like what they're saying. If they ask a question, you be the one to answer it. If you don't know the answer, somebody's going to come in and answer it. But like that person and say, thank you, Rebecca, for answering, Sue's question or whatever. Just be present in the event, because you want them to know that you're there and they're not alone. Because they can't actually see you, obviously, because it's online. So. When there's different posts that we'll make about, what your goals are and where you'd like to be this year with the company and what's your favorite product, those are cues for you to join in, for you to talk about why you love the greens. Give an example of why you love them. I love them because my 4-year-old wouldn't eat vegetables, and now I can at least give her that and feel good about the fact that she's getting something green, because she's only going to eat French fries, bacon, and cheese, okay? Yeah, I also said too, when a post is made in the event, if you want that person to see it, maybe you've talked to them earlier in the week and they said they were really interested in the greens, and then that greens post pops up, tag Sue and say, Sue, this is what we talked about this week. Definitely take a look at this post. This is the product I told you would love. Really make them feel important and tag them with those. You have that freedom, so utilize that. I think that's all those notes. But I did want to say, I think my biggest thing with this, especially with my team, and I've really pushed this with them, is use what's created. Don't overcomplicate things. We have created, Rebecca and I have worked on this one that we're doing with our team. I want them to use that. Don't feel like you're using and abusing. Now, if you're sitting with people and you're not showing up, we need to talk. But if you're going to be there and you're going to use it, use that to your advantage. Use what's there. Don't reinvent the wheel is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to overcomplicate things. This business really is simple, and when tools are put into place by your upline or somebody invites you to be a part of something like this, join in. Utilize it, and you don't have to feel guilty about it. It's okay. If we've asked you to be a part of it, please join in. But keep it simple. They don't have to be 30 posts long. They really don't. You can get the gist of what we have to offer in just a few posts and feel really good about it. We do ours in an hour. It's wonderful. And then we spend about 30 minutes afterwards following up with those people, making that connection again. And then there you have it. So, there you go.
Y'all learn something new? That's good stuff. Awesome. Okay, well, so now we have, what time is it? 8:15? 8:18. Okay, so I've asked a couple more people to share just a few tips and another story, and then Rebecca and I will come up here and end out with a bunch of tips for you guys. How's that sound? So we've talked about online parties, which are great. Have any of you guys done those before? Yes? No? No? Not yet? I've done a few myself, and they're great. I highly recommend them. They're a great way to, right now we're all about doubling our efforts, so you might as well do them if you're not doing them yet. That's just one other thing you can do in the evenings from your bed, from wherever you are, and it's easy to do. It's right. We have a free tool with Facebook to be able to use. We have friends. We have ability to message people. It's just an awesome, easy way to work your business. And so I highly recommend those. Those were great tips, Beth. Thank you so much. So now I've asked Miss Hannah Butler to come up here and share. She is also a diamond, working her way up to double diamond. And I asked her to kind of share. She is the queen, in my mind, of consistency. So I asked her to share with you guys some tips on that, and also to share with you some tips on parties, because Hannah joined at a party, a wrap party, that I actually wrapped Hannah at my distributor's. One of her first wrap parties was at Hannah's house, and so I actually had the privilege of meeting and wrapping Hannah there. And so you joined because of a party, and I know that you've done parties, and so I would love for you to share on actual in live person wrap party tips.
Okay. This is weird holding a microphone and me on the screen. Okay, so parties. Okay, first thing is what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna keep it simple. Because everybody at that party, you need to think of them as a potential distributor, because you want everything to be duplicatable. So all you really need to have a party is your phone, because of the new awesome mobile app. You can sign up anyone from your phone, anytime. So your phone, wraps, and your party pad. You really need that. I carry all three of those things with me all the time in my purse, so I can have a party anywhere. I can have, a party one-on-one with someone, or with a huge group of people, or on Google Hangout. It's just, you need at least those three things. So that's just an instant party. I really would say to utilize the mobile app, because has anybody used it? Yeah, it's really easy. So if you don't have it, download it now. So. Also for parties, how do you get parties? You're just gonna have to ask. That's kind of what I've learned. Nobody is really, maybe you'll get a couple, hey, can I have a party? But you're just gonna have to ask the question. So just ask, just message people. And another great thing to utilize is that share link. When someone signs up as a loyal customer, I contact that person within the first week and ask them, hey, you have this share link, you want to do a party. And if they're not local, do an online party, like we talked about. So do an online party, because they have 30 days for that link before it expires. So that's another great way to reach out to other people who, other people's contacts that you don't know. So, okay, next card. Also, what we've been doing is we've been setting up just a weekly party. So we have a weekly party at me or another distributor's house. So then we can just invite them to anyone just throughout the week. So it's set Monday night at 7 at Hannah's house or Lindsay's house. So anybody who has a potential distributor or potential customer, they can just come to our house, and then we go through the party pad. We do a few samples, and yeah, so a weekly party is really great also. Okay, and then I'm gonna talk about consistency. The first thing I'd say about with being consistent is you're gonna have to take the products. I don't think you can be consistent at all if you don't believe in these products. So find a product. It doesn't have to be every product. Just find one product that you love. For me, it was greens almost immediately. So I love them, and I love them still, and I will tell everyone they need to be on them. So find a product that you love and get on it and stay consistent with it. Take it every single day so you know what it's doing for you, so you can tell other people what it's doing. Also, I would say staying plugged in is also very key to being consistent in your business, because you're gonna come to these events and you're gonna learn something every single time. and you're gonna grow, and it's always gonna just push you on to just do a little bit more. So come to events. Okay, and then I kind of like social media. I don't really want to like overwhelm people with my consistency with it, but just anytime it really just comes up in the day, I try to post about it. So today I made like some ProFit energy balls. So I just posted about that. Just any way I can like integrate it, and then especially if I can like do anything with my kids in it too, which I love. So do it, yeah, so just like be consistent, but don't like overwhelm people with it. So just like, yeah, post it. Okay, so what I'm trying to say is like, don't do anything that's not you. You want to like represent yourself. Be true to who you are, and don't just post. So, and then also, I feel like being consistent with it. I might not have everyone I know on Facebook be my loyal customer, but I want people to know that I am an It Works distributor. So I want to be known as that wrap girl. So if someone knows of someone who needs wraps, or someone had posted, like tagged me in a post the other day because they said they were looking for wraps. So it was someone I wasn't a loyal customer of mine, but they knew that I sold them, so they tagged me in. So just being consistent and letting people know that you are an It Works distributor and being proud of it. So that's it.
Great. The thing I've always admired about Hannah is that she's got 2 small kids, and that she has consistently worked this business. I've seen her do it, and she worked it, and went Ruby, and then she kept working it, kept sharing and talking to people, and one of her friends signed up, and now she went Diamond, and she's headed to Double Diamond, and it's just been fun to watch her because I've seen how consistency has paid off in her business. So thank you for sharing that, Hannah. All right, so now finally I've asked one of our newest diamonds, Miss Lindsay Long, to come up and just share. Yes, yeah, that's what I meant when I said you were going to share, is that you were actually doing. So I've asked her to come up and just share a little bit about her story. We don't have all that much time, but I would love for you to share with them. She is a busy girl. She's got 3 kids, and they're very entrepreneurial. They have a lot of stuff going on. But I would love for you to share your story and how you incorporate this in your busy life and what you do. Because you guys hear this a lot, I'm too busy for that. I'm too busy for that. Do you know that raise your hand if you feel like you're busy in here. So everybody here, and those of you watching, I'm sure, hopefully you're raising your hand. Everybody's a lot going on, but I truly feel like busy people make the best people in this business, and that's always my response when somebody says, I'm too busy. I'm like, perfect, you'll be awesome at this. Busy people get stuff done, period. And so I would love for Lindsay to share her story, and she just went Diamond, and I'm super proud of her. So.
Awesome. This is totally off the cuff. Because when she said, I love you to share your story sometime, I thought she just meant sometime. But that's fine. Oh, I'm so sorry. See, I'm too busy. I'm not paying attention. So, are you filming me? Oh, okay. Awesome. I was like, do I look? Okay, I'm sorry. We don't have a lot of time. Okay, so really quickly, okay, so I've known Hannah since she was 2 years old. So I knew Hannah was doing this business, watched her for about 1.5 years, never even crossed my mind to do this. I never have sold anything. When I was thinking about making extra income, it wasn't to sell something. It just wasn't on my radar. So very quick, condensed version. Me and my family go somewhere called Pine Cove every single summer for family camp. 2 years ago or 3 years ago, there was a new couple there that we got to know really well, Ben and Lydia Diaz. Some of y'all know them. Anyways, she just is a super humble, sweet girl. And this is how you can know that your shirts work. Every day at camp, they wore It Works shirts, she and her husband, every day. And so I was like, oh, they do that thing Hannah does. And that was it. So I know them and Hannah. I didn't know anybody else that did this. Anyway, so, fast forward another year, some things happened in our life, and it was kind of the perfect storm of both circumstances on the outside and in my heart. God had worked in my heart a lot. And so we're at camp. This is this past summer in August. And I talked to Lydia and I said, okay, I really want to know about this business. Like, tell me for real, can you make money? I mean, what does that even look like? And little did I know she was a presidential diamond. I didn't even know till after we left. And like I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, she's a big deal. But she's humble. Anyway, so we left camp, and that week I went with Hannah to McAllister's to I guess it was a 1-2 mission. Was that what that was? A training or something. And Tracy got up and talked, and then Ryan got up and talked about backpacks and fields of gold. And I was like, I'm gonna do this, which I kind of decided before I went that I was gonna do it. So signed up, and yes, I do too many things probably. So this past fall, when I joined, I was homeschooling my daughter for the first time. I teach art. I was illustrating my 3rd children's book. My husband owns his own business. We're starting another business. It's opening in a week. So all that to say, I have a lot going on. But it is true, the more you have going on, the more you get stuff done because you get used to it. Like when I was teaching in the summers, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna get so much done this summer because I'm gonna have all this time, but I get less done. So it is true, busy people, you just get more stuff done. Okay, so fast forward, how I incorporated this into my busy life. I feel like the 90-day full throttle was perfect timing for me because I joined August 14th, that started September 1st, right? So that was really good for me because every single day there was just a little action task or launch task to do every single day. And so I would just get on, see what that was, and do it as fast as I could. And sometimes it'd be ask 50 people to host a party. And really you can copy and paste a message to like 50 people and it takes like 20 minutes, maybe less. And so really I just had my phone with me and I would constantly just, if there was snippets of time, driving in the car, all the kids are in a 5-point harness, they can't move, you're far away, people can't hear them. I would pick up my phone every day that I was in the car, if I was going to the gym or wherever, I would go through my phone, I mean, I'm not moving, but I would go through my phone like at a light and I would find somebody that I hadn't talked to. This, when I first started, I would just call people. Because when people can hear you and hear how excited you are, then they can hear the genuineness in your voice. So that's a big deal. Anyways, and I would just call, I don't know, whether I wanted it to be a customer or distributor, and I would just ask, hey girl, I just joined this company. You may have seen my post. I'm looking for a product tester for the hair, skin, and nails. Would you like to do that? And then let them ask a question. Or, hey, I just joined. I'm looking for people to join my team. Do you have any interest? Do you have any time? And I would just, driving, would call. Every single night, I got on my computer. It would usually be 9:30 or 10. And for about an hour and a half, my husband's sitting here watching House or whatever series we're into on Netflix. That's died since I don't watch TV anymore. Anyways, but I would just sit there and message people on Facebook. I would just go through and find friends that or people that had liked or commented, like you said, and just contact them. And I don't know what else. It's just part of my life. I don't know. I think about it all the time. Literally, I wake up and think about this business all the time. And so if I'm talking to someone in Target, I grab someone at Dairy Queen, Starbucks, just different places, anyone you talk to them long enough and are interested in them and ask them enough questions, something will come up in the few sentences they say that lets you know that they need to either try this product or they need this business. So, did I sufficiently answer that question? Okay.
Thank you. All right. Okay, so Rebecca and I are gonna give you guys some just of our quick tips before we let you guys leave tonight. Before we came here, I wrote down at the bottom of my little notes that we were looking at down here with our guide for the evening, but I wrote down simple and personal. Will you guys write that down, those of you taking notes? Simple and personal. So my tip that I'd like to start out with tonight is, it doesn't matter if you're looking for distributors or loyal customers, which we're always doing, right? Every single day, that's what we do. That's our main job, is to help people either with their health or their wealth, which is a beautiful thing, right? Who doesn't want, that's like a dream job to me, to be able to help people with their health or their wealth, to help people feel better about the way, they look or feel better about themselves, or to help people reach goals that they never thought they could get. And you get to work with friends alongside of that and have a lot of fun with it. wear a t-shirt and flip-flops if you want to every day to your job, you can do that. If whatever you're doing to find those distributors or loyal customers, if you remember to always keep it simple, and we're gonna break that down a little bit, always keep it simple, whether you're doing a wrap party, whether you're doing an online wrap party, whether you're blitzing, whether you're talking to somebody. If I went out here and started talking to somebody about how the wraps work, keep it simple always, and always make it personal. This is a relationship business. It truly is a relationship business, and people will not, they won't care what you have to say to them, face to face, or in a message, or in a text, on a phone. They will not care unless they think that you care about them. Do y'all agree with that? It's true. It's all about a relationship business, so simple and personal, and you guys have kind of heard that throughout the night about being yourself, being yourself, being yourself, and keeping it personal. Keep it personal to you. Who are you in this business? You know, so that's kind of like several tips in one, but that when you're reaching out to people, if you remember those two things, I wrote that down because I wanted to share that tonight. If you remember keeping it simple, keeping it personal, that's going to carry you so far. So we'll just go back and forth, Rebecca.
I think the exciting thing to hear is that I had that on my notes too, so that's always exciting. That's right. And then also, I could knock off everything on my list that maybe a couple because they were mentioned by other people, all these other ladies that shared tonight. So that's exciting. So it's simple. It's interesting to see that even after 3 years and 6 months and a year and a half, we're all still doing the same things. So we don't overcome, it's not any different than when we started. So to add to what everyone else has said, some tips that I have, one of the things is to stay positive. Does anybody want to work with a negative Nilly or someone who is, complaining about their husband or their kids or just complaining in general on Facebook, or every time you see them, they have a sour look on their face? People are not attracted to negativity, they're attracted to positivity. So I guess one of my biggest tips is I tell people is keep your Facebook and social media positive. If you feel like ranting, post it. Don't post it, type it and delete it. Don't say it, don't post it. So just keeping that positive, and people are drawn to positivity, people are drawn to excitement. The other thing I have, which we've talked about too, is to be excited. You don't have to know everything, you just have to be excited. People are drawn to excitement. The first loyal customer I signed up, I had no idea what the wrap did. I just know what it did for me last night. And I said, I don't know, you need it, it's super for you to try. And she was a customer because I was excited. I didn't have a clue as to what I was doing. I didn't even know anything about it. I just knew that I was excited and I wanted her to have the important too. And then the other one I had is we were talking about having a distributor. Anybody want to know who are you supposed to talk to, who do you approach about it? Lindsay shared a lot about how she does it. She's literally calling people and asking them, have you ever thought about doing this or this? Here are 2 choices. One of the things that I like to do on Facebook is, how you're scrolling through it through the day and someone's post pops up in your feed and you think, oh man, I gotta tell her about the business. Does that happen to anybody? What I do is take a screenshot of that because I can't do it right then. I screenshot, and throughout the day, I'll screenshot 5 to 10 people's posts, and then that evening, I go back and message them based on what they posted, and I make that connection to what they said, and make it about them. So if they say, oh my goodness, it's time for summer, I'm ready for spring, but I gotta get to the gym, my leg, whatever they say, then I send them a message, girl, I saw your post on Facebook today. I'm feeling the same way you do, but have you ever heard about my skinny wrap? You ever thought about trying it? So connecting it to what they're doing. So I love being able to meet a need, and I feel like social media, that's the way we can do that, by connecting to what they have going on in their life. So other than what everybody else says, those were the tips everybody took on that.
Another tip I was going to give you guys is that I heard this once at, I think it was at a boot camp or a green carpet, but one of the other ambassadors said that anytime anybody asks her what her job is, she says, I'm a leader with It Works Global. And I thought about that tonight, and I was thinking, most people that enter this business have a job, have a full-time job, or at least a part-time job. A lot of people that enter this business have some kind of job. If you're a stay-at-home mom, that's what you would tell people that you did. If you worked an 8 to 5 job, that's what you would tell people you did. But she said that night at this event, she said she started to say, Even though she had a full job when she first started, she started to say first, when people said, what do you do? She would always say, I'm a leader with It Works Global. And I also work 8 to 5, blah, blah, blah here. But she always started with that. And so I would encourage you guys to do that, to make a note of that and be proud of that. Like, I think it was him that said, I want to be proud. And I think that's awesome. You know, knowing that you're with the right company is when you start to really appreciate and want to be that rap girl. You want to be known as the It Works girl. Like, it makes me proud when somebody comes up to me and says, hey, you do that It Works thing, right? I'm like, yes, I do. I'm glad that they know that. They know Tracy Dixon is It Works. I'm glad. It makes me proud because I know that, first of all, I know that I'm doing my job, that people know my business is open, and I'm always open for business. And second, I work for an awesome company. Like, It Works Global is an awesome company and something to be proud of. We have great leadership. We have great goals. We do great things. You know, our CEO stands on the stage and talks about how he wants to change our lives so that we can go out and change more lives and give back to in ways that we would never be able to otherwise, and I love that. So it makes me proud to be the rap girl and the It Works girl. And so I hope you guys will embrace that. And then, you know, when people ask you, what do you do? Say, I'm a leader with It Works Global, because if you have signed up as a distributor, even if you have one person on your team, you are a leader. You're leading somebody in some way. So that is not a lie. You're a leader with this company. And so be proud of that, and that will carry you very far. So you gave all your tips in one.
Okay, so I'll add to what you say. So when someone says to us, what do you do? I'm a leader with It Works Global. What I like to do is stop talking then. Because a lot of times we get nervous and we start to does anybody do that? I see my head shaking. Yeah, I would go, when I first started, I'd just start telling them everything about it because I was afraid they were going to turn around and I wouldn't have the chance to tell them everything they needed to know. Because I knew they were going to love it and want to do it right. What I've learned is the more you talk, the more we scare people away and we overwhelm them. And I like to talk, so this really took a while for me doing so. So my biggest tip with that is when someone says, what do you do? And you say, well, I'm a leader with It Works Global. And then you stop talking. They're going to ask you, well, what is It Works? And then you have your answer. It's a health and wellness company. We're best known for our body wrap. Have you ever heard of it? I love to end everything in a question so that they're drawn to ask me more about it. I do that through messaging, on the phone, and in person. And then when they say no, well, tell me what it is. What are we going to do then? Pull out this awesome card. I saw Tracy had it. And there it is. And then we let the card or the tool do the work for us. So therefore, we're not nervous because we don't have to know everything. So that was just to add on to what you said.
So let's talk about blitzing really quickly. These are what we call our blitz cards. It's an oversized coupon. Basically, it's an oversized business card. And on the front, it says, have you tried this crazy wrap thing? Which is awesome, because that's the question we ask people. Have you tried it? Have you heard of it? And then we're also claiming that it sounds crazy what it can do, right? We're just putting it out there. And then it shows people what it does on the back. So like Rebecca said, we have the tools. We don't even have to know exactly what to say. Somebody could say, oh, well, this is what it does. Yeah, it tightens, tones, and firms in as little as 45 minutes, reduces the appearance of cellulite. If you can point and read and smile, you can blitz. You really can. Even if you can't really read, you can still point and smile, right? So, I mean, my kids do this even before they knew how to read. And so this card, we keep them in our purse all the time. And a couple tips that I will tell you guys about blitzing is that there are a couple ways to do it. There are times that I give people coupons and stacks. I'll say, you know, how many people work here? I would love to leave some coupons for you guys. You can put them in the break room or hand them out to whoever you think might be interested. Oh, 5? Awesome. Let me give you 5. 10? Great. I do that just as a way to get it out there in the hands of somebody, you know, wherever you're at. I love to do that when I'm out of town. Anywhere I go, because I can easily say, oh, I'm from out of town and I'm introducing a new product to the area. I would love to leave some coupons here. And just ask them, you know, how many people work here or whatever. You know, coupons, everybody wants a coupon. So that's one way to do it. The other way, which is my most favorite way, is to, again, build relationships with people. And as you're talking to people, just like what Lindsay said, I love that, is that you can bring up what you do or something about the wrap or something about another product in any conversation that you have. You really can. It's something you can get creative with, but as you're talking to people, as you're out and about, build that connection with them. I see Rebecca do this really well all the time, but if we're sitting at dinner and you're talking to your waitress, you know, she's taking care of you, she's doing a really good job, she smiles, she's happy. Perfect thing to end the night with is to don't just leave it for her, right? Don't just leave the card for her. Make a connection with her and say, Rebecca, you've done so great tonight. I love your attitude, and I'm always looking for people just like you on my team. Would it be okay if I left you this coupon? This is my website, and have you heard of this? Oh, so then she asked me what it is and all of that stuff, but basically, I gave her a compliment that I truly believe that she's a really nice person. I'm able to make a connection with her, give her a card. I've gotten people's contact information that way before to be able to email them some information about it. One girl that I blitzed that way was actually about to move. She's like, actually, I am looking for something. I'm about to move here. I was like, perfect. I'll email you some information. So somehow make a connection with people and then give them your card. You know, one way that I try to remember that is to keep it personal, then blitz, and then go back to something personal. PvP. That could go. So if you're personal, and then you're able to blitz them, and then you're back to, well, good luck with what you do. You know, I hope the move goes well, you know, whatever, however you want to end that. But that's kind of my favorite way to blitz is building relationships that way. So, all right. Do you have any other tips? Okay, so before we close out tonight, I know the main question that we always get is how do you get distributors? Do y'all want distributors on your team? We all know we need them to be able to promote, so we're always looking for distributors, right? And so a couple of tips, y'all have heard several tips, great tips tonight, but a couple of tips when you're talking to people about being a distributor, and say, let's give a couple of examples. We're talking to friends that you've known for a while that you really think would be awesome at this. Do y'all have some friends that haven't joined you yet that you feel like would be awesome at this? The best way that you can talk to them is talk to what is the friend. Don't ever send them some kind of script that's really long, that sounds like a script. They're gonna be like, what? Why is Tracy sending me this? This does not even sound like her at all. I think that's offensive almost. So what you want to do is you want to make it personal. You know, when Ashley sent me a message, you know what it said? Can I call you tomorrow and tell you about this business? I think you would love it. I'm really excited about it. I would love to tell you about it. Can I call you tomorrow? That's what it said. And as a friend, what am I going to say? Sure. You can call me. She called me and she told me all about it. Did I say yes that day? No, because it wasn't my time yet. 4 months later I did though, but I still remember that. That's how she approached me, was as Ashley would talk to Tracy, that's how she reached out to me. If she would have sent me this long script that sounded like something she copied and pasted to me, that would have hurt my feelings. I got one of those this week from somebody, and I was like, what? What is that? Why? I don't understand it. And I called my mom, and my mom was like, I got the same thing. So remember that. As you're reaching out to your friends, reach out to them because they're your friends. Hey, Laura, you'd be awesome at this. I would love to tell you about it. You can tell me no. You won't hurt my feelings, but can I call you? Can we go have coffee tomorrow and talk about it? And the other thing, when you're reaching out to people that maybe you don't know that well, that maybe you haven't seen since kindergarten, okay? But you're Facebook friends with, which we all have those kind of people. You know, you want to make a connection with them. It's great if, like Rebecca was saying, you see them on Facebook, start making connections with them. You know, comment on their pictures of their kids, like some of their posts. Start to make that connection with them. Send them a message and say simply something very simple and very personal. Hey, Barbara, I love that we can keep up through Facebook, even though I haven't seen you in 10 or 15 years. Your kids are adorable. How's life? How's things going? I do that a lot, just to try to start building that connection. And then eventually, just like Lindsay said, it's easy. What are you up to now? Well, what am I up to? Let me tell you. actually got involved with this crazy company that's changed our lives over the past 3 years. Have you heard of It Works? Leave it quiet. You have to be patient when you're talking to people. If you barf all over them, they're not going to want to talk to you anymore. Okay? You have to give them a little bit, ask questions, always make it about them. So before we leave tonight, I kind of have a challenge for y'all. Lindsay loves this kind of stuff. She talks about full throttle tasks. So I want to challenge you guys to do it. The whole book. This is my life in this little notebook. I did a whole video about this. I guess I need to do another one because I can't find the original and people keep asking for it. So here's my challenge for those of you that are viewing in tonight and for those of you that are in the room. I think a lot of people get held up because they don't feel like they know what to say, right? And they get scared to send those messages. This business is all about relationships. It's all about, as you heard all the leaders talk about tonight, it's all about sending those one-on-one messages. We cannot rely on Facebook posting or posting a picture on Instagram to always be the end-all be-all. Like, we have to reach out individually, face-to-face, phone call to phone call. We have to call people, we have to text people directly, we have to send them personal messages to make it about them. So my challenge tonight is to find 3 people tonight that you maybe haven't reached out to yet at all. Maybe somebody that's kind of on that chicken list of yours that you think would be awesome, but you haven't reached out to them, or 3 people that maybe you have talked to before and they told you they were busy or they weren't interested. So you have those 2 options for these messages. But here's an example. Again, it's just an example. There's no perfect wording, but here are a couple of examples. So I would choose 3 people that you can send one of these messages to tonight. The first one, are y'all ready for this awesomeness? Have you ever thought about selling wraps with me? You'd be awesome at it. Can I call you tomorrow and just tell you about it? So I got that? So that kind of is what Ashley sent to me. Have you ever thought about selling these crazy wraps with me? I know you think I'm crazy. However you would talk to this person, remember this is how you would talk to them, not how Tracy would talk to them. Can I call you tomorrow and just tell you about it? And then the second message, the second option, this is one of my favorites, is, hey Sue, I know you're busy. Just throw that out there, right? I know you're busy, but do you happen to know of anybody looking to earn extra income working from home? Question mark? I'm looking to add a few people to my team this month. I thought you'd be the person to ask. Something simple like that. I know you're busy, but do you happen to know of anybody that's looking to make extra income working from home? I love to say those words, extra income working from home. And then you can end it however you want. I'm looking for just a few distributors, or I'm looking for 2 more this month, and I'd love to help get started. Do you happen to know of any names? I'm happy to email them some information. However you say it. Whatever you feel like is, I've said it both ways. Yeah, it depends on who I'm reaching out to and what I think they would understand about the business. They might not know what I mean by teammate, but they may know. And sometimes I just ask, I leave it at that. Do you know of anybody looking for ways to earn extra income? So that's kind of a challenge. So find 3 people tonight that you can send one of those messages to. And then the final thing I'll say about reaching out and following up with distributors and loyal customers or anybody, potentials, is that make yourself in this notebook that I have, my life. I have a section in here. I have a section for all my distributors that I've signed up so that I know who's on my team so I can reach out to them and encourage them. I have a section for loyal customers so that I can follow up with them and take care of them. I have a section for potentials. That's where I keep my list that I started at the very beginning, my hundreds list. And in that list, like I said at the beginning, follow-up is so key. And so keep yourself a list, however works for you. Some people have spreadsheets. Some people keep lists. Some people do it on their, whatever, computer and some other way. But keep that list and then make notes. Contact this person today. They didn't respond. Put the date. And then follow up. You have to follow up. I can't tell you how many guys, leaders that are on this team, Diamond and above, that told me no or ignored me for months and months. And so you have to follow up with people. Today I followed up with a guy who I have talked to for probably a year and a half. He is a guy that we knew from a long time ago. I talked to him on the phone. Both Ryan and I talked to him on the phone. I've sent him, messages. He's asked a lot of questions back and forth, and then he kind of stopped responding. Does that happen to you guys? People don't respond. That happens a lot. So I sent this message to him today, and it worked pretty well. So I'll tell you guys about this. I said, "Hey Joe, it's been a while. Just checking in and following up with people. Follow up is what I do. And wanted to know if I should mark you off the list." That's what I said. Should I mark you off my list? Are you still thinking about it, or should I just mark you off my list? It sounds kind of harsh when you're asking it, but he didn't think it was harsh because you know what he said? Don't mark me off your list. He wrote me right back. Don't mark me off your list. I'm still thinking about it. I think products first and then do it. So I sent him the information so he could sign up as a loyal customer. So you just never know. People, it's not that they're not writing you back because they don't want it. It's just it's not their time yet. I didn't sign up with Ashley at the beginning. It wasn't my time. And so follow up is key. And then those messages, simple and direct and personal. Should I mark you off my list? You can't hurt my feelings. I say that all the time. You can tell me no, because it doesn't hurt my feelings anymore. It really doesn't. And that's probably a tip that we could leave you is to get some thick skin. Get used to hearing no.
I think my biggest thing about no is they're not really saying no to you. They're just saying no to the product or no to the opportunity. They're not saying no to you personally. And once we were able to adopt that, no just was a word that they were saying to themselves. We were just the avenue in which they had to go there. So yeah, one of the things about follow-up I think is so fun is that you get to reconnect with people and learn about them. And I was talking to my friend Cassie last night, and we were joking. We actually had a team call, and I did that with her. She ignored my messages. She was like my best friend. She ignored my messages. I'm like, girl, answer my message. That's rude. Because you're being you get to be you. And then finally I got her on the phone and she heard the excitement and I was able to connect. So people are going to do those kind of things. That's not you. She loves me. It wasn't me. But, just be persistent. Don't let the no get you because it's not really you that they're saying no to. They're just saying not right now.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you coming tonight. We appreciate you viewing in tonight. The final thing I would like to say is that, we have, what is today? The 24th. So we have 6 days, 6 and some hours. 7? Okay, so we have time left this month is what I'm saying. So if you're sitting here watching this training and you're a distributor, try to get to executive. Go there by the end of the month. There's no reason why you can't do it. You find 2 distributors, 2 friends that get 400 in volume. And we talked about that tonight. How do you do that? Do you know you could go out and find those 2 people and have a wrap party for them and you can go executive like that? So if you're sitting at distributor, it's not too late. Go executive. If you're an executive, go Ruby. It's not too late. There's a lot can happen. Rebecca and I can attest to that. A lot can happen in this business in a matter of 1 day, much less 6.5, 7 days. So we have a lot of time left this month, but you have to act like every day is the last day of the month, okay? Because that urgency within this business is important. This is the time to capitalize on what we have with It Works Global. This is the time. And don't ever, I would hate for anybody in this room or anybody listening on this training to ever be to a place where they look back and think, man, if I would have only done something for my business starting last year when I first heard that first training, or if I only would have done this, if I only would have done that, if I only would have sent that message, then think about what my life could look like now. And now's the time and you have the opportunity right now to do that. So do you have anything to add?
And I'll just add to the 6 days. A lot of times people stop. If you do not stop, you have 6 days, you're not gonna start April 1st and say, I'm gonna wait until April 7th to start. So utilize the 6 days because, I mean, we saw drastic things happen in our business in 6 days. So definitely don't count yourself out, for sure. You can do anything for 6 days. If you are this close, do not end this month without believing that you put your whole heart and your whole effort into it. Do not count yourself out. Miracles happen.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks for coming tonight. Appreciate you guys. Good night, everybody.